Are Shias considered Muslim? I have heard that they believe that Sunnis have taken verses out of the Quran and they believe that the 12 Imam govern the world alongside Allah. Is this true? No, the Shias are Muslim. Anybody who faces the Qibla and anyone who says the Shahada is a Muslim. That is the definition. So the definition of Muslim is very wide. And all of the sects that we know of, we consider them Muslim. Unless and until something appears from them that violates those like basic things. Now the differences between the Sunnis and the Shia are many. But most of those differences can be reconciled as differences of interpretation or differences of opinion. However, there are 5 issues between us and the Shia which are substantial. And it is the discussion or the reconciliation between the people of Sunnah and the people of Tashayyu are on those 5 issues. The first issue is, as the questioner said, the infallibility, the isma of the 12 Imams. The 12 Imams are universally accepted as Imams. I mean, the Sunnis have the same love for the family of the Prophet ﷺ as the Shia, and we honor and we revere the 12 Imams, the descendants of Sayyidah Fatima alayha salam. But they say, or some of their works say, that they are infallible. We do not believe in any infallibility after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Infallibility, al-isma, meaning that they are a source of tashri'ah. They are a source of establishing legislation. Now, that is only for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, we believe that those 12 Imams are saintly and are protected and are pure and are wise and many of them were ulama of the outer and the inner, etc., etc. But that doesn't mean that we would say that they are infallible. But they are at the same level as all companions going down because there is no infallibility after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second issue is the issue of the cursing of the Sahaba. There is a literature in the world of Shia Islam, horrible literature of the cursing of the Sahaba that fought in the great fitna between Imam Ali alayhi salam and Sayyidina Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, and they fought against Imam Ali like Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu, Sayyidah Aisha alayhi salam, etc. There is a literature and a tradition of cursing those Sahaba. Now, I mean, cursing the Sahaba is an enormity beyond, one even shudders just to think of the thought. Sayyidah Aisha alayha salam is from the mothers of the believers from the text of the Quran. Ummahat al-Mu'minin, the Quran state. I mean, is the Quran making a mistake? Therefore, I mean, it brings up so many theological problems. We believe that Imam Ali was right, by the way, and and Sayyidina Muawiyah was wrong, but that does not stop us from saying Sayyidina Muawiyah radiallahu anhu or Sayyidina Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu, etc., etc. And by the way, a lot of the narrations and a lot of the details of the stories that happen of the fitna between Imam Ali and Imam Muawiyah are wrong and forged and incorrect. By the way, on that issue. So that's the second issue. The third issue, as the questioner mentioned, is tahrif al-Quran. Is that some in the Shia literature say that there is parts of the Quran or that have been changed or that have been altered. And even there's a well-known book by one of the Shia ulama at-Tabarsi. There is a tradition that they believe that the Quran has been corrupted, etc., etc. Of course, we believe inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. That one of the miracles of the Quran is that it has been protected and preserved, and there is no evidence to the contrary. The fourth issue is a theological issue called al-Bada', which is a theological issue that means, as we understand it, that God changes His mind, which is a huge theological problem. We do not believe that Allah Ta'ala changes His mind. And the fifth issue is the issue of a tuqya, or of hiding what one believes in, etc. Now, these 5 issues, of course, the Shia have responded to. I mean, I'm just stating the problem as it exists from our perspective. But for the last almost 100 years, 80 years plus, this reconciliation between the Sunnis and Shias has emerged. And the major maraja and ayatullahs of the world of Tashayyuh have responded, and no, this is not what this means, and no, this is not what this means, and we condemn those that curse the Sahaba, etc. And that it's upon those responses that this reconciliation has taken place. But yes, those traditions do exist, and because those problems are so enormous in the scale, unfortunately the burden is on the people of Tashayyuh to make a better effort to clarify their position on those issues. To say that the Sahaba, to curse the Sahaba, is essentially to curse the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean, astaghfirullah azim, to even think about that, because the definition of the Sahaba are the people that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam dealt with. They are his companions. So did he make a mistake, or did he fail in his mission? I mean, all of these theological questions happened that obviously no, that would dismantle our belief altogether. So there are enormous issues, but they have been reconciled. So the upshot, or to go back to the original question, is no, we hold the Shia to be our brothers and sisters in faith. We consider them Muslims. Of course, there are different types of Shia. The Zaydi Shia of Yemen, which is a form of 7 Imam Shiaism, are closer to the people of Sunnah. They're very close to the Hanafi madhab, for example. And then the larger group of the people of Tashayyuh are the Ithna Ashariyya, the Ja'fariyya, the 12 Imams, the Shia of Lebanon, of Iraq, of Iran, etc. And then the Ismailis are another form of seven people of Tashayyuh, and they claim that they follow Ja'fari fiqh. And the Ismailis are subdivided into other groups. So there are different sects, but universally anyone who says the kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, prays the 5 prayers towards Mecca, is a Muslim.